All right, and we're back. Our Streamlabs decided to face check the Death Bush, but our resident Echo main smashed the Chrono Shift, and so we managed to get into this game. And here we go.
Let's get it.
We've still got Kamikaze Penguins against Mundolicious, with ATX Gamer playing Bully Bear in the top lane, Archangel and Shyvana in the jungle, Mandisford in the mid lane, with the Vigar, the Coaster on Ashe, with Skelly Bob playing Morgana in the bot lane. On the side of Kamikaze Penguins, for Mundolicious, we've got Hayaris on set in the top lane, Ula Polina playing Lee Sin in the jungle, Zixu on Syndra in the mid, Cheryl's on Misfortune in IDC, with Rio of the Wildfire playing the Sun Lady Leona herself in the bot lane on support.
Yep, and as we see, it looks like Mundolicious did look for an early kind of stack in the top side, found nothing of it. Looks like Kamikaze Penguins does get a deep ward to try to spot out this Lee Sin's early path.
All right, so a little bit of an early thought by Mundolicious. They drop a ward on their blue. They look like they're going to try to something. I wonder if they have a history of invades, and they're just making sure that Kamikaze Penguins doesn't kamikaze into the top lane on them without them being ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't lose anything. It's fine play, you know. It might have got something. In the end, it's just neutral. Oh, Lee Sin's going for a quick little sneak over the back of the Baron pit, moving right into the top side. I like this.
They pinged out that blue ward, so they knew the vision's there. And if you've played against an AP Shyvana at all, you know that she wants to full clear. So this could be a really big punish by Ula Polina on the Lee Sin here.
Yeah, that's some intelligent pathing by him.
Pinging for help. Is he going to give the blue buff over to Zixu at level 2?
Oh, that would be actually kind of crazy, but just I think he'll just probably grab the Gromp and then move out. Shyvana is clearing pretty fast, so if he stays around too long, she might find him. Not that she wants to find him.
Yeah, I think that Mandisford had enough of a push that Zixu said, I want it, but I can't come get it. But the Gromp takeaway is the really big thing, especially in the early levels. The Krugs and the Gromp are worth more than buff camps.
Yeah,
and so that's the real punish. But Ula Polina here running top to gank ATX Gamer. Yeah. Hayaris runs forward, flash forward, the E off of set, manages to lock him down with the face breaker. That's first blood over to the set. Hayaris with the face breaker, securing the kill onto ATX Gamer off of the early jungle pathing of Ula Polina.
Yeah, that's huge. There's a great flash by the set to kind of set that up. Lee Sin hit his Q. It's all they really needed to get the kill, but you know, as Volibear, you're not expecting that gank at all. They had no idea that Lee Sin had done that creative little path, and if you know he started red, you're thinking, oh, he's probably around bot right now. So just really caught him off guard. A really smart play by the Lee Sin early on.
And because of the way he pathed and then ganked, Archangel may not know that his blue side is gone.
I think he walked past it and saw, but he definitely didn't have any opportunity to punish. I mean, Lee Sin just gets everything, it feels like right now.
And then the reset, yeah, you're right. He must have seen because he's resetting here. And good play by ATX Gamer to hold the flash, hold the TP, accept the fact that he was dead, and run back to lane without really spending any of his mobility or power. But a collapse coming down off Mandisford, and Archangel manages to smite away the second Scuttle Crab. So despite the early start, Archangel with the level lead.
Yeah, that's big, and I mean, that's the power of the Shyvana. She clears so fast, and smart by Mandisford to come back up his jungler, and then just a good smite.
What a silky backstep by Mandisford there to dodge both Zixu and Ula Polina.
Yep. Lee Sin's hanging around, though. I think he really wants to try to do something.
He wants to try to punch this Shyvana and steal some more. He recognizes that he beats her early, but a level 4 Shyvana against a level 3 Lee Sin might be interesting. Shyvana's down clearing Krugs while Lee Sin's going to be able to steal away these Raptors and hit level 4 also.
Yep.
Really, really aggressive pathing by Ula Polina here, just trying to slow down the Shyvana's scaling.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the nice thing about your mid laner being on the Syndra. You know, the Vagar's, I mean, he can come over there and throw a cage out, but he's not threatening you. Syndra Lee Sin's such a powerful, like, two-man combo.
Oh,
he's gonna strike the dragon.
He tried to hide on the, just out of vision of the Scuttle Crab, but it wasn't enough. but it looks like he recognizes that he's in a bit of trouble, and his team pings him off.
Yeah, that would have been risky if they tried to stay on it.
Archange goes and finishes clearing up those Raptors. Mandisberg with the big trades against the Syndra. At this point, he beats Zixu here because he has more mana, and level 6, whoever gets it first, it's going to be a big swing here in the mid lane if they both stay around with low health and no mana. Lee Sin back on the dragon after waiting for vision to expire.
Yeah, I like that call, and you know, Zixu's kind of in a rough spot because he doesn't want to back, he doesn't have teleport, but I don't know, it's hard when you're no mana, but thankfully Mandisberg also doesn't have mana, so they're both just kind of sitting there waiting to see what'll happen.
Lipolina comes off of the dragon, misses the kick, or the
blind
Sonic
Q
Wave.
barely misses.
Blind Q from the blind monk.
Yep.
And goes back to the dragon, this time calling for some help, knowing that Shyvana's top lane, the mid lane just reset.
He's
At
committed
level
to this play.
4, I don't think that he can take this by himself, but his bot lane's running up, and so he's going to get it.
Yeah, the Misfortune's got the priority to be able to come over there and help, and I like the commitment to getting this dragon. You know, they want to cycle, they want to snowball with the Lee Sin pick, and you know, he didn't give up after getting stuffed once or twice.
The big problem with this for me, though, is he stayed on the map for far too long. He's down a level, he's down 14 CS. They got the first dragon, but this Shyvana, even after losing camps, is going to be able to catch up and really be a big threat moving forward.
Shyvana's fully committed to the power farm right now, as she should be. I mean, she'll probably hit 6 a while before the Lee Sin, and you'll have to track where is her first, like, what's her first attempt once she has that ultimate. That's really when she starts to come online.
I know for me, running the Dark Harvest on Shyvana, especially at level 6, it always seems best to try to make a play down bot. If you're going to get 2 stacks off anywhere, that's where it is. And she's level 6, so because of the way that they stayed around to fight for that dragon, Shyvana's level 6 while Lee Sin is topside and still only level 4.
Yeah, the bot lane hadn't backed yet though, so it looks like they're just going to get a reset off. So they should be fine. Shyvana was hunting though, and Manstifer's kind of walking over to say hey to Lee Sin, steal some of the Raptors.
And with ATX Gamer in the river there, they can't do a whole lot to Manstifer. And despite the early invade and kill, the gold is almost dead even across the map, and Shyvana is significantly in the lead of the Lee Sin right now.
Yeah, there's a slight gold lead in favor of Mundolicious, as expected after getting the first blood, but he's committed to these objectives, looking like maybe they want to make a Rift Herald play, but I don't know if this would work out. Yeah, backs off. He really needs to get his level 6.
Well, yeah, because off of this blue buff or off of this Gromp, I think Shyvana hits level 7 and maintains the 2-level lead that she has on the Lee Sin right now.
Yeah, that's big. I mean, at least Sin's only, I believe, like halfway to 6, so...
Looks like Skelly Bob hovering around the mid lane here, trying to look to make a play on Zixu, but it's kind of hard to do anything with a Viger and a Syndra in the mid lane. They both have such heavy CC and the ability to walk back away from things. Lipolina dropping that ward in the back of the Rift Herald pit is going to catch out the fact that Archange is trying to do this here. But I think that with the level advantage in favor of the Shyvana, you pretty much have to let it go, and it looks like that's what he's doing as he continues to path over to his blue side jungle.
Yeah, you don't want to take that fight a level down against the Shyvana. If the Shyvana gets in, she's already snowballing off pure farm. If she gets a kill lead, then one-shots will start coming through.
And a bit of an engage in the top lane that leads ATX Gamer at 1/4 health, while Hayares walks away almost at full. And the Lee Sin back on the invade, taking more camps away from the Shyvana, but at this point I don't know how much that matters with almost double the farm on the Shyvana.
Yeah. He's still trying to get his level 6.
Pinging that he wants to go on bot lane, but if he doesn't have level 6 yet, this could be a greedy path that's not going to work. Decides just to leave, but gets pinged out for his trouble. As he takes the Scuttle Crab, hopefully he hits 6 here and is able to activate. They get some deep vision in on his red side, but Shyvana's not able to take anything because he already cleared it.
Yeah, you're feeling very comfortable right now. if you're Kamikaze Penguins, you picked the scaling jungle, you picked the scaling mid, and as of right now, you've got either a lead or you're even.
Level 6 on the Lee Sin, and he runs up to mid lane to try to gank Mandisford, but the last couple of seconds of that ward in the river find him, and he has to back up and just go for his blue buff that it looks like he's going to hand over to his Syndra.
Yeah, Syndra's going to enjoy having that one, but yeah, they're doing a really good, outside of the very first gank that he got off, they're doing a good job of tracking him with the vision. They're making it Lee Sin's life really hard. But Shyvana's
Shadow comes out, it lands on the Leona. The E just doesn't quite connect from the Shyvana, but the flash forward from Shyvana puts out enough damage to chunk the Lee Sin. They run away. The Misfortune ultimate and the Leona ultimate connect. The snare from
here comes Syndra.
Morgana lands, but Syndra's running down. The E from Shyvana goes forward. Shyvana's just trying to pick one out of the backline, but falls to the Syndra over the wall. Syndra might pick up another one here. That's a triple kill for the Syndra on the roam, and the bot lane manages to get away with their lives intact. And that's a huge roam from Zixu to prevent a really, really rough play after a lot of ultimates missed on both sides.
Yeah, that was a great play by Zixu to get down there. That was looking kind of like a disaster for a minute there. A lot of low health bars kind of just barely escaping on the side of Mundolicious, so they're lucky there. And, you know, Mandisford, he actually just got kicked into the turret by Lee Sin, but I think he'll just walk out fine.
But
nice
another really big thing that happens out of that whole trade is Shyvana only got one Dark Harvest stack from all of that. He always goes in on ATX Gamer thinking he's going to burst him, but the bear is just too tanky, and the Vigor ultimate knocks him down and takes his life as Mandiford gets on the board.
Yeah, and that Shyvana's right onto the dragon, you know, that's just tied the dragon score up.
And once you pass level 6, Shyvana takes dragons so fast that if you're not on them within 10 seconds, they're gone.
That's a Rift Herald mid. That turret might just straight up drop.
Really good pathing from Archange after having a bit of a rough go in the bot lane. Manages to come right back after they come back, go straight to the dragon. They take advantage of the fact that Uyapalina gets killed by Mandisford. They drop the Rift Herald. They get that first turret gold and all of those plates. And that actually just about evens the gold between Mandisford and Zixu, even off of that Roman triple kill.
Yeah, that's what I was about to just say. Even though he's 3-0, the plate gold, the help from the jungle with the Rift Herald, pretty even.
Only about a kill's worth of gold in favor of Zixu. The real question here is, does Mandisford TP? It looks like he's waiting in base to decide, and he's just going to hoof it back to lane.
Yeah, pretty close game across the board right now. I'm excited to see. I think I would try to make another play bot lane if I am Mundolicious. You know, you had a good roam with the Syndra. Send her down there again. You have the Leona. You can't black shield two characters at once, so either the Ashe or the Morgana is vulnerable. Neither have flash.
As ATX Gamer tries to run mid to gank the Syndra, I think the decision not to TP might have hurt Mandisford a little bit there, because it actually set him behind almost another 600 gold as Syndra picked up 2 turret plates while he was walking back to lane.
Yeah, and I do like ATX Gamers. I don't think he's really enjoying necessarily the 1v1 right now, but he's looking for these roams. You know, he found the Lee Sin earlier. He tried to go mid again. I think it's smart when he has the opportunities.
It's really hard to play any champion that runs up on top of a set. If you want to go fight somebody in melee range, set goes not too well. But there comes out a big E from Archange and the smite to get the Dark Harvest stack off, because that's really the game Shyvana's playing right now. Power farming only gets you so far. Oh, Mandisford catches out Uyapalina, but the stopwatch comes through to save his life. The E comes out from Archange, but Uyapalina manages to get away, and all it cost him was his stopwatch. Zixu here with the ward over the wall, trying to set something up. He's going to try to burst Mandisford here, but gives away his thought by casting the Q over the wall. I would have loved to have seen him leave the Q in the bush and then throw it over. Oh, but Skelly Bob on the roam sees what's happening.
Oh, big solo kill.
Mandisford gets blown up, though. Throws down the baby cage, but the baby cage does not stop the Cinder Balls from blowing him up. Archange runs up, but there's a TP coming out of Hyaris. They might be trying to force down this mid wave here with the Viger not here, and with Shyvana not having ultimate up.
Yeah, that was a big solo kill. I think all the games today have shown us the power of Syndra.
Yeah, well, these are all played on 10-12, so it's right before the nerf that just came through.
Yeah.
Which
Manfur's TPing bot lane though.
This is what he was looking for before. The Ashe comes out, hits the slow. The arrow comes out onto Misfortune. The baby cage hits both. They manage to blow up the Misfortune. And with the Ashe slows, that Leon is not long for this world. And the kill goes over to the Cokester. So a kill for Mandisberg onto the Misfortune. A kill for the Cokester onto Rio of the Wildfire. And a great TP by Mandisberg, holding that TP pay off. But in the top lane, Ulapolina and Hyaris are here trying to take this Rift Herald. But the damage from the Shyvana just blowing people up. Ulapolina's going to fall to the Shyvana. Hyaris is going to fall. And that's two kills for the Bully Bear, 2 Dark Harvest stacks for the Shyvana. The Rift Herald is taken, but honestly, at what cost?
Yeah, that was a really good TP. Literally, like, I think it was like 5 seconds after Misfortune died, her flash came back up. Perfectly timed. Neither bot laner on Mundolicious' side had flash, just barely. Like, just a crucially timed gank, and then Mandisberg made it all the way back up there to also grab an assist on the top side.
I mean, it looks like Zixu's in control of this game with the 4-0 and the 40 CS lead in this mid lane Syndra matchup, but Mandisberg really...
Oh, he's in trouble, though.
Well, Mandisberg dead. Never mind. Take it back. Make that 5-0.
Yeah, but the Syndra right now is scary, for sure.
Mandisberg doing his best to keep his team in this, despite the fact that he's getting blown up, and that Viger build's really slow to come online, that Glacial build, but once it comes online, it's really hard to play against, as the Shyvana jumps over the wall to blow that up, but the Rift Herald's going to come down, that's going to be the turret.
Yep. Rift Herald to buy a little time as they move towards the dragon. They're looking trying to get this one.
Rotates over. They're going to snag this dragon. There's no contest coming through from Kamikaze Penguins. They recognize that that one's not for them, and they're going to try to reset, but it looks like they might be wanting to make the play after the dragon drops. Oh, the Ashe Arrow comes through. Never mind, they make a big play. Ashe Arrow comes through. They almost knock down Ulapolina, but a great kick on ATX Gamer knocks him and the Shyvana up. Rio the Wildfire disengages. Ashe is chasing. ATX Gamer is chasing. The slow barely lands. In the backside of the fight, Zixu takes out Morgana as the rest of the team chases forward. And Mandisberg's trying to catch him, but a great scout of the week knocks him up. And
oh, wow.
The double trade back. Okay, so the baby cage holds him in place, but he runs back, realizing that he can burst and lands the Q to get the kill. But the ultimate from Viger is already in the air, securing a massive 900 gold shutdown for Mandisberg, trading his life for all of the extra gold.
Yeah, great. I mean, Zixu, it's clear he's very comfortable on this champion. He completely destroyed the Morgana, knew that he could get the Veigar. Good job by Mandisberg. I mean, you take that trade at that point. That's a big shutdown for him, and any amount of gold like that on the Veigar is always nice to accelerate his build. So I'll take that if I'm Veigar, but they need to watch Zixu, because right now he's just pumping out damage.
The big thing, though, going in the favor of Kamikaze Penguins here, top lane is even. Jungle, you have a 2,000 advantage on your Shyvana. There's only a 1,000 advantage in the mid lane, despite the kill differential being 7-1 to 3-3-2 and a 50 CS lead. That shutdown brings Mandisberg within 1 gold, or 1,000 gold. So the gold advantage is still on the side of Kamikaze Penguins, despite being down a kill. And all of the gold is over on this Syndra in the mid lane. So if they can kill Zixu or avoid Zixu, they should be able to win trades just about everywhere on the map. And they realize that in the top lane, where they're going for a dive on Hyaris. ATX Gamer walks up, the Facebreaker comes down. Oh, wow. What a play by the set. This is why you don't dive set, ladies and gentlemen.
Great play by him. The shield lasted just long enough to tank the Veigar ultimate. Very well played by Hyaris there.
And the last tick of the turret manages to knock down ATX Gamer. And on the other side of the map, Ulapolina's roaming down, and they're trying to set up a play onto this bot lane.
Yeah, I think Zixu right now, you know, he's massive, but you're right. If he's kind of the main really the only super strong point of the team right now. Set's doing a good job, but Zixu needs to try to help, I think, his misfortune in his bot lane get ahead. Because if you can get them ahead, then you're feeling pretty comfortable.
And after that, though, Shyvana manages to take second tier in the mid lane. And ATX TP's behind Zixu. Zixu manages to land the stun onto Skellybuff, but the Ash Arrow comes out, and the heal is just enough to keep the Cokester alive, who manages to kite away with the slow as ATX Gamer takes down Zixu. That's huge.
Yep. Big TP by ATX Gamer. Very smart. I think Zixu hung around just a little bit long after his team left there.
I mean, that was an amazing play by the Cokester. Lands the Ash Arrow to deny the ultimate so Skellybob doesn't die. Then eats the ultimate himself. And in the top lane, we've got another fight as Arcade takes down Uya Polina, but loses his life for his trouble.
Yeah, I mean that was an example right there of how much damage the Shyvana's already putting out. But good job getting him by the set. That is a nice kill. Set's getting pretty big in the side lane right now, and if he can be a side lane threat, it could make troubles for Kamikaze Penguins.
I agree with you, and despite the kill lead, we still have a 1,000 gold advantage in the favor of Kamikaze Penguins. And a lot of that just comes from the shutdown gold that they've been managing to accrue, and the Shyvana is absolutely massive, because there's big CS advantages in both ADC and mid lane for Mundolicious. And
Yeah,
there's
normally
kill advantages, obviously, on the team. But
yeah, normally when you see those kind of CS leads on your two primary carries, you'd be thinking you were in a little bit better spot than you are, but I mean, the Shyvana, the CS lead over the Lee Sin is just massive.
and it's
Shyvana
really,
has like a 2,000 gold lead right now over the Lee Sin.
and that really comes down to look at the 60 CS difference. And when you're talking about jungle camps, that CS difference is even more significant.
Certainly. I mean, basically the whole kill differential, or the gold differential for the whole game is just between the junglers.
And the other really sneaky thing about the Shyvana gold differential is that's not counting the 6 Dark Harvest stacks that she has. That basically, Shyvana's okay dying to trade as long as she gets 1 or 2 Dark Harvest stacks out of it. Her goal is to 30 minutes blow up a person with 1 E.
Might get to see someone get blown up around this dragon if they're not careful, but I think Mundolicious is in a potential position to fight. Mans to Fergus top lane. He has teleport though.
So does Hyaris. So they actually, both teams identify the fact that they need to have their teleports in the top lane. ATX Gamer is down around this dragon because his teleport is on cooldown. Mandasferg chunks out Hyaris and is chasing him as fast as a little Yordle can, as Uya Polina and Cheryl's try to flank Skellybob and squad. But the Ash Arrow goes through the middle of the line. Bully Bear ults forward, gets the stun out on Cheryl's. Rio the Wildfire is in the backline holding up 3 as ATX Gamer tries to 1v1 the backline. Arcade, with that massive Shyvana damage, manages to get the kill on Uya Polina and then turn around and snipe the Misfortune as well in the backline. Rio the Wildfire finally runs out of life and time, trying to keep the rest of his team alive. Set tries to ult the Shyvana away, but Kamikaze Penguins manage to Kamikaze ATX Gamer in and win the fight.
Yeah, really well played fight. It was a nice job by the Mundolicious carries to kind of kite backwards and to make sure that they did kill ATX Gamer, but the Shyvana damage eventually flew through. Mansferg showed up, and Ryu the Wildfire was doing a good job keeping their backline zoned out, but the Leona's going to die eventually, and they're going for the Baron.
And the other problem is you can't zone out the damage from the Shyvana. And so he zoned out the backline, and the Shyvana was on the side killing their Lee Sin. Oh, but they have to pull off. That's a good pull. That's a good decision to not force the issue here. They have a lot of gold after that fight, and they haven't reset yet.
Yeah, I like the idea of trying. Sometimes you can get a really sneaky Baron like that, and they're in no danger to just quickly pull off. So I like the idea.
I would agree with you. And it's not like there's a huge threat of Mundolicious turning around and rushing it down in return. Mundolicious not the best Baron taking team, especially with all their gold on the Syndra, which is the really big point I wanted to point out from that last fight. ATX Gamer going in on Cheryl's and Zixu basically confirms that nobody on his team is going to die. Zixu is a one-target killer, and if that person happens to be your top lane tank, you win every fight afterwards.
Definitely, and especially because if Misfortune's having to run away from the Volibear while the Leona is zoning the backline. The Leona's not setting up the Misfortune ultimate, and the Volibear was doing work in that last fight, even though he did eventually drop.
I think that if you're playing Volibear at this point in this game, if you can burn the Syndra ultimate and prevent the Misfortune ultimate from hitting your whole team, that's all that you have to do. It doesn't matter if you fall without killing anybody. Your goal just needs to be to prevent those two huge damage sources from coming down on your team.
Definitely, and now Volibear's teleports up, so they have him in the side lane. It was intelligent earlier to have Manceberg there, but now they swap positions.
And this is the real as they try to run forward and engage. The Set flashes forward with the E, but he doesn't have people on opposite sides. Another Dark Harvest stack redeems off of the Shyvana as Lee Sin almost falls once again. One Shyvana E taking out 75% of his health as ATX Gamer manages to continue this split push on the side here. The Ash Arrow from downtown connects onto the Misfortune. Another E from Shyvana takes Misfortune down to half health. She just gets out, but the Baby Cage comes down and the Skelly Bob on Morgana secures the kill.
Yeah, I know in pregame we talked about Kamikaze Penguins draft kind of wanting to kite you out, but they're just running right at them, and they don't really have an answer.
Big Ash Arrows, big Syndra scatter the weak, but unfortunately she walks forward right into a Baby Cage. However, there's enough of an advantage on the Syndra right now. She walks away despite eating the entire Viger combination. And Rio the Wirefire tries to engage onto the Syndra under turret, but nothing goes through, and that's going to be the base cracked open for Kamikaze Penguins.
Yeah, you know, they don't end up getting the inhibitor, which is fine. You know, they're fine to just take their victory and back off. And Volibear got a turret bottom lane as well. So they're slowly chipping away at the base, and it's not like they're in any hurry to finish this game. Your Vigard keeps at 3 items, only gonna get stronger.
And let's talk about those 3 items, by the way. What a utility Vigar build. And he doesn't even care about getting kills. He's got a Banshee's Veil as his 3rd item. He just wants to stay alive, survive the Syndra, and turn out as much damage as possible. As Kamikaze Penguins attempt to sneak another Baron, but get spotted out, and decide to pull off it, grab the crab, and back up.
Yeah, it's an intelligent Vigar build. He recognizes that, you know, he doesn't have to just go for like a Rabadon's 3rd item or something, because everyone on their team's doing really well right now. It's not like he has to be the primary damage threat. And so I think it's a really smart build. It's going to be really hard for them to kill the Vigar. He has the utility of the Glacial Augment. And it's not like he's not doing damage. Vigar gets so much free ability power off of his passive.
Agreed. And that Glacial build really is just, it's meant to be annoying. And the Baby Cage is the big thing for him to prevent Lee Sin and Leona from doing what they want to.
Yeah, Vigar's sitting at 501 ability power right now. He's already getting 219 just free ability power from his passive. I mean, that's the great thing about that champion is that he has such flexibility due to how much free ability power he gets.
The wild thing about what you just said is the fact that despite her massive lead, Syndra's only sitting on 285 ability power.
Exactly, because Syndra felt the need to go for a Banshee's Veil, which I don't think's a bad buy. It's an intelligent buy into the enemy team, but she almost does need the more damage. Because right now she is pumping out the majority of her team's damage.
And a Death Bush set up here around the dragon, as they know that the Shyvana can solo the dragon faster than anybody can even get there. Oh, the Morgana bind lands, and they manage to break the Syndra ultimate using the Shyvana dragon to jump out of the pit. Oh, and the Ash Arrow connects! They're going to get a big chunk down onto Zigzu. They back out, they dodge the ultimate from Misfortune. They keep walking forward. The ultimate comes out from Zigzu, but it's not enough to knock down Cokester. And ATX Gamer goes in with the ultimate. They Baby Cage and kill the Leona also. That's a double kill for the Volibear. Morgana secures the last kill onto the set. That's a dragon. That's 3 kills. That looks like that's going to be the game.
That was a great Ash ult. There's 5 people standing there, and you managed to tag the biggest carry in the game. It's just great Ash ult.
The Cokester on this Ash has been really a force. Down in CS, down most of the game, but because of the utility from that Ash and the quality of the arrows that the Cokester has been landing, the CS difference hasn't mattered at all.
No, certainly not. And yeah, it looks like they're just going to finish it out right here.
And a little bit of sparring, but they know 2 more kills onto the Syndra, but not enough to stop the Nexus from falling. That's game 1 to Kamikaze Penguins. It was a close game. It was a hard-fought game, but in the end, one person can't carry 5.
No, no doubt. And I mean, I think there was good performances all around the board. Set did a really nice job top lane, even like dodging some of that pressure. He had the 1v2 under the turret was big. Obviously, Zixu as the Syndra was massive. I think going into game 2, you definitely want to pick Syndra again, no doubt. But also, I didn't like the Lee Sin pick. The early jungle and the first blood was really nice, but after that, it just felt like he couldn't really get anything done due to the vision they had. And if I'm trying to redraft, I think you got to go for a more you want to say a more aggressive jungler, but who's more aggressive than Lee Sin? Maybe just a jungler that's gonna still be a little more useful if the early game kind of falls behind like that. And
I think the big problem that he had on the Lee Sin was pathing. His first 3 levels pathing was brilliant. And then he wandered. He didn't have a clear objective, and he kept trying to force fights and ganks. And so Shyvana said, all right, I'm just going to farm. And so what we wound up with was Lee Sin kept trying to invade and force his advantage. If he had just fallen back and farmed his jungle after getting that gank off at level 3, we have a level 5 Lee Sin against a level 4 Shyvana instead of a level 6 Shyvana against a level 4 Lee Sin.
Yeah, and I mean, in credit to the Misfortune, she did have a nice farm lead, but I think if you're going to draft the Leona into the Morgana, so into it, you've already known that you're kind of counterpicking yourself. I don't know, I think you might have to ban the Morgana this time if you really want to play that, or you just, I don't know, I feel like there were opportunities where maybe they could have went a little more aggressive. Maybe you sent, because like when the Syndra came down, that was really big. Because if your ADC is generating that big of a farm lead, add some kills to it, and the Misfortune would have been a lot stronger that game. So I think there's good things for each team to take away from. You can't feel bad about going 10-3 on Syndra, but I think if they can just figure out a little bit more of a way to transition those kind of leads, those farm leads, the kill leads, I think that's what they have to do to bounce back. And if you're Kamikaze Penguins, you just say, hey, let's just run it back. Pick the scaling mid, pick the Ashe. I'd blind pick the Shyvana again, to be honest, if that's an opportunity. It didn't look, I mean, if any pick was going to punish it, it would be something like the Lee Sin.
Yeah, I think their Shyvana was absolutely excellent, and I think that the Syndra was absolutely excellent. But you know what, we talked about the power of the Syndra. The biggest difference between this Syndra, despite getting massively fed, and the others that we saw, was teleport. This Syndra took Ignite, and despite being massively ahead, didn't have the same map presence because of teleport. If Mundolicious gets that Syndra again, I would love to see Zixu take teleport instead of Ignite to try to push his lead more if he's going to try to solo carry.
I agree. I mean, he had like some solo kills with the Ignite, definitely helped with. But if you know that you think Manstifer is going to pick another mage, probably take teleport, if you can get the Syndra again and then he picks the champion like that, I think you have to like kind of match the TPs.
I agree with you. All right, so Syndra, unanimous ace. Who's your MVP?
I think I'm going to have to give it to... Oh, it's between the Shyvana and the Ashe for me personally. Probably the Shyvana. I think especially after kind of like... I mean, you lost your topside jungle and your top laner got first blooded, but just she knew exactly how to power farm, and she knew exactly at which points, all right, now I'm able to show up on the map. Now I'm able to gank. Now I can take the dragons. Knew when to concede and when to push the advantage, and I just thought that was really impressive.
I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one. I think that Arcade was fantastic on the Shyvana, handled her win conditions very well, but it has to be the coaster on that Ashe for me. Those Ashe arrows won that game. Those Ashe arrows denied Zixu so many times that without those ultimates, I think that game gets hard carried by the Syndra and is over.
Yeah, it's a close one. The Ashe was perfectly piloted. I'm curious to see if they'll let the Coaster get the Ashe again. I personally would not.
Yeah, I think that they're going to want to let Mandasford do a little bit more of Mandasford things. I think that Kamikaze Penguins needs to not deny that Syndra. I think that Mundolicious would benefit from denying the Ashe and the Shyvana more than almost anything else. And I look forward to seeing what comes up in the next pick and ban as we get that up on the screen in a couple of minutes.
All right.
All right, Cage the Cage Reaper back here with Brewer, taking a look at the pick and ban from Game 2 of the Noxian quarterfinals, Mundolicious versus Kamikaze Penguins. And hot takes off the top, we saw exactly what we wanted. There's a Shyvana ban in the first round. Can't pick that early. There's an Ashe ban in the second round. You don't get that. Kamikaze Penguins say, no Syndra for you, Zixu. It might not be Mandisberg's normal champion, but we're taking that. And another weird one, we got a rematch of the top lane matchup because both teams seem to have thought that that went well for them.
Yeah, so the oh no, exactly. Yeah, they ran it right back. I'm a little bit surprised that they went for the first pick Lee Sin as opposed to maybe just, grabbing your mid laner, the Syndra, after such a dominant performance on it, and especially when the Lee Sin didn't exactly have what you would have wanted out of that pick, but obviously a comfort pick, and maybe he just felt, let's get rid of the Shyvana. That was just because of the Shyvana. I'll run it back this time, and we'll see what happens. So interested to see if the Lee Sin can have better luck this time. I think the set pick again is good. Hiaris had a great game on the set. Victor is an answer to Syndra. This time they're kind of saying, hey, we'll take the scaling. And the Malphite early pick is also interesting because you pick the Malphite, and then the Mundolicious is probably thinking, okay, we'll take the set into it, and that's fine. But then it turns out it's actually Malphite jungle, and they take the Volley Bears, the same matchup, so it might have a little trickery right there, and you end up with an Ezreal Taric bot lane, which is, safe and scaling, and then Jinx Soraka on the other side, pretty safe and scaling in their own right. So interesting drafts. I think both teams have their opportunities, but noteworthy, the Malphite actually took Electrocute, so we'll have to see once we get into game if he'll stick for an AP build or not.
Yeah, I think that I would have expected the Volibear to go into the jungle and the Malphite to go in top lane. I know personally on our team we think of Malphite as a set counter, so I'm surprised that they picked the set into it. Hiaris must just put a really high preference on that champion. I guess that they didn't first pick the Syndra because they didn't think that Mandisberg would play it. They figured we left his Corki up, we banned the Kassadin, he probably picks the Corki, and he turned around and said, you want me to pick the Corki, I'm going to take your Syndra. And they went, well, I guess we're taking Victor into that.
Yeah, it's a very good point. I think that's probably what they were kind of hoping for. Not that you really want to see him on his Corki either. That's a force to be reckoned with. But I think it's intelligent by him to not. Sometimes, at least I know for me, if your favorite champion or one of your better champions gets left up, sometimes you're just so quick to pick it. But he sat back and said, you know what? I'll just take Syndra too.
And I think that was a really, really heads-up play by Kamikaze Penguins in the draft phase to deny that. I like seeing the Cokester on another late-game scaling champ. I felt like they enabled themselves. They turned on really well towards the middle end of the game and were positioning really well. The Leona ban I like, especially after not getting the Morgana this time around. They got the Ashe Morgana banned. And so they turned around and said, all right, well, if you're going to ban Morgana, we're going to ban Leona. You don't get to play that.
Yeah, no doubt. That's intelligent. You don't want... The Leona's a lot scarier when there isn't a Morgana on the enemy team. So,
I think biggest wild cards for me as we load into this game in a second is going to be the jungle matchup. The Lee Sin and the Malphite are kind of the wild cards. Lee Sin with a rough game last time, Malphite being kind of an odd jungler, and everything else looks pretty even across the board.
Yep, let's see it.
Let's get onto the Rift. All right, and as early pings come out, there's a ping to the lane for Kamikaze Penguins and a ping for a 5-point coming out of Mundolicious. And it looks like Kamikaze Penguins is taking my favorite cheese invade route that I wish they weren't revealing before our finals match against Penguin with Friends. Penguin with Friends, if you're watching, cover your ears. Don't listen to this. We do not like to run down bot lane. But a great early ward spots them out and is going to negate that. So,
yep, intelligent ward. But there's a little bit of invade on the other side. No one's gonna end up finding each other. It doesn't look like. Probably just get some deep vision down.
But on the flip side, because they get that vision down, Uyapolina and Hyaris run right to the red buff on the other side of the map.
Yep. Don't know if they're gonna stick around to look for a little steal. They might.
This could be a little bit of a sneaky catch based on that. I know that when we do this invade, we tend to stick around a little while longer, as Spaceman Smith learned the hard way one game. But
I do think Volibear will probably see it though. They'll have an idea when no one shows up on that red buff. They'll either think he's starting blue or they're red, but Volibear's not going to check it.
Oh, they played that just right. The real trick is you got to wait until the minion waves have passed, and they play that perfectly. They wait until the Volibear is cleared, and they're going to steal this away without getting seen. Although, looks like, yeah, okay. It was Uyapolina pinging Hyaris to fall back.
Yep. Wow, good steal. And Malphite is walking right to his top side, probably expecting him to have started blue to go to the red.
Another really early gank setup from Uyapolina, but the Sonic Wave misses. And
yep.
Archangel.
He realizes he's been robbed, and
yep. I just realized that's Archangel. Sorry, Archangel. Your one screwed me up.
Tarek with an early back bot lane already. I didn't see exactly what happened. Maybe he was chunked out?
I don't know, but left early enough that Cheryl's is definitely benefiting from the experience advantage.
Yeah.
Archangel farming his Krugs. The biggest difficulty with invading red side, if you're anybody other than Shyvana, is you can't really clear the Krugs to deny, in the same way that if you clear blue and Gromp, you deny almost a full level and a half.
Yeah, I think another thing to notice is on really the mid lane matchup just got flipped because Mansterferg is on the Syndra and he also opted to take the Ignite. I mean, we'll have to see if he can put up a similar performance to last game, and if anything, I think he might have a little bit of an easier job into Victor as opposed to into Veigar.
Engaged by ATX Gamer, big burst, but Hyaris eased to get it knocked back down, and nothing happening up there as Archangel gets spotted out by the Lee Sin. The resonating strike lands, he takes the Q in. Is this going to be Lee Syndrome, or is he going to get the kill on Archangel before ATX gets there? ATX gets there, stuns him. The walk up from Mandisferg, and Mandisferg with the early move manages to pick up the first kill as they try to escort President Archangel out of the river.
Great job by both of his solo laners to roam up. That feels bad for the Lee Sin. You know, he definitely had the one-on-one, but they're still fighting mid.
Oh, big great scatter of the week, but he takes the turret shot. This could be a misplay by Mandisferg, but luckily... Oh! Wow. Zixu with a great flash forward, takes the double buffs back, takes the kills back, is going to be able to push this wave. Archangel tries to walk over, but realizes rather quickly that that's not going to work. Uyapolina's back. He dashes forward, but the Malphite's going to be able to land the cheese wheel and run away.
Yeah. That was a nice outplay by Zixu, recognizing that once Mansterferg took that turret shot, he was in no position to be there, and great solo kill.
A little bit of greed by Mansterferg there. Great punish by Zixu. Now there's a 2-level advantage for Zixu. Mandisferg's just stuck trying to catch up, clear his turret. Does some damage onto the Lee Sin, but ultimately has to just back up and farm as best as he can.
Yeah, but before all that happened, just great great collapse by the solo lanes that allowed the Malphite that safety and barely allowed him to live from the Lee Sin. And I just think Lee Sin knew he had the 1v1, but he just didn't take into account what the position of the solo lanes were.
And I think mid lane's always an interesting one, and it's difficult to.
I think you cut out for me right there, but if I think I know what you were going to say, with the mid lane, that's just the nice thing about the Syndra pick is that whoever Syndra's with
because of
generally is going to be the stronger, like, early duo. And even though the Lee Sin is very strong in the early game, the Victor's just not offering much inside of, like, that 2v2 or a 3v3.
Exactly. The Syndra stun and the ability of the Syndra to move gives first move almost always to that mid laner. And Mandisberg, knowing that, manages to take advantage. Great plays on both sides, though, because this is an even fight. And right now, Mandisberg is feeling the pain of having lost those double buffs over. ATX Gamer, though, falls to Hyaris in the top lane as that set pick continues to just do absolute damage.
Yeah, you wondered why he picked it, maybe into the Malphite, but I think it's just clear he's very comfortable on that pick, and it's just showing how good he is at it. You know, and Zixu right now probably should try to get a back off pretty soon. He's sitting on 1,500 gold, which is enough for his first Hex Core upgrade, which is really when Victor starts to come online with that permanent wave clear.
I have seen a lot of Victors try to sit around and farm for 2 upgrades at once, though, so we'll see if that's what he's doing here.
Yeah, it can be a bit greedy if he waits too long and the Syndra gets level 6. And that's just a half chunk right there. Add the ultimate, and that might be his death. So he'll probably look to shove and then back. I think he's getting a little risky if he stays around.
But who knows what comms you're saying. It looks like Lee Sin's in the area, but there comes the reset. Yep.
Yeah, when he gets back, he'll have that Death Ray upgrade and just be able to make it really hard for Syndra to even trade onto him because he'll just clear the wave so quickly. But Syndra going up to defend the red buff, which is really intelligent.
Mandisberg realizing that after the steal, the timer would be in favor of Uyapalina, and Uyapalina is seeing that ward, realizing a level 6 Syndra is not what he needs to be checking into, gets out as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's super intelligent to go ward that out when you know about what the timer will be. Really smart play, and we see Malphite's trying to take the dragon because they knew Lee Sin was just top.
Difficulty with that. Archangel's going to struggle a little bit here. Malphite is no Syndra at dragon taking, and it looks like the bot lane might roam up, and Uyapalina might see this coming. This could go really badly for Archangel here.
Lee Sin, he's going to spot him.
We're about to see it again. It's the Scuttle Crab betrayal.
That should be a kill.
Uyapalina focusing down the Malphite. Mandisberg trying to burst the dragon. Zixu walks down. The Soraka's there, but Mandisberg's gonna fall anyway. Maybe not. Yep, falls to the ultimate. Oh, Skelly Bob bounces himself back the wrong direction, and he's gonna fall also. That's a double kill for Zixu. The Scuttle Crab betrays. ATX Gamer leveling the playing field in top lane though, as the Volibear knocks down the set on the other side of the map.
That was big for the side of Mundolicious, though. Archangel almost snuck the dragon, but you're right, he's no Shyvana. It takes a lot longer to take the dragon as a level 4 Malphite. And nice solo kill by ATX Gamer in the top lane to even that up, but Set's right back and he's hunting.
TP in, using the move speed to get that stun off. Big burst, big shield. Oh, the true damage almost takes down ATX Gamer, but cool guys don't look at explosions, and ATX Gamer walks away.
Very, very close.
However,
and
knowing that he has the top lane pressure, Lee Sin runs right up to take the rift. Mandisberg's not in the position to fight this Victor too much, but walks forward, gets a little bit of poke, continues to try to control the lane. Uyapalina pretty sure that he's got the Baron here, as he's level 6. Malphite's still not quite yet.
Yeah, Malphite's still hunting for that 6. Pre-6, not too much opportunity to make plays, but he's almost there, and then you'll have to look and see where his first attempt is.
Mandisberg with the gold advantage right now. having spent his, while Zixu's sitting on almost 2,000, trying to get the back off, but the Syndra pushing in makes it real hard to get a good back. So he walks up, he tries to push another wave. He's going to get comboed on, though. Electrocute hits him again. He's at 1/3 health. Mandisford has the flash, the ignite, the ultimate, but it looks like it's going to be a blue buff donation that pulls Zixu away from the lane.
Yeah, he's smart.
And
I was worried he was going to walk back to lane there, but he's intelligent. He knows he has to back off because you're right. The Syndra is in easy kill range on him.
knowing that he's back, Archangel walks in to try to get some vision, make something happen on the red side. They may know where Uyapolina is as the vision ward's dropped and Archangel's trying to sneak away this red buff. Lee Sin backs. He doesn't know that his red buff's being taken, or he doesn't care.
Mansensberg actually manages to get a turret plate there, which is really nice, even though the Victor's 3-0 with the shutdown. Only about a 400 gold lead, which is nice, but staying in it overall. Victor does crucially have the fully upgraded Hex Core now, though, which is really, really big. He starts getting to apply the slow on his ability that they added earlier this season.
Level 6 Malphite sitting in a bush. They see the Lee Sin.
That might be a dead Victor if they go for this.
Archangel making the call. Gets spotted out by Lee Sin. Flash forward and the ultimate out of Syndra. He's just barely alive with the shield, but the Syndra picks up the kill with his Q as the Ezreal ult comes down. They try to trade one back, but it's just not going to be enough. That's a big kill. That's a blue buff over to Mandisford. That's a lot of extra gold. That's going to be a 600 gold. But in the top lane, they go 1 for 1 as the Ezreal ult hits ATX Gamer and manages to give Hyaris the ability to pull the kill out. But on the dive, ATX Gamer manages to get the kill back.
I have to imagine that probably wasn't exactly who he was aiming for, but if it works, it works.
As these top laners continue to just scrap with each other in the bot lane, we've got another fight going down. But Tarek and Ezreal are too safe for anything good to happen. And a little bit of chunking onto the Soraka as the Lee Sin comes to try to set up a play. The Tarek stun's here. Malphite's still there. Tarek ultimate goes out as they try to get on top of the Jinx, but the body blocking from Archangel comes through. The ultimate from Soraka keeps everybody up. They're turning it back around. The Tarek ultimate is off, and with the Soraka heals, they can't re-engage this.
Yep. Without
Bot lane
flash.
is back at full health, and with Archangel resetting, he decides to stick around a little while longer, as they're trying to prevent them from getting this turret with the Rift Herald.
Without flash, though, the Lee Sin's struggling to be able to get a good kick.
Yeah. They're just trying to get a little bit of gold here. They should be able to get one plate off, or one charge off, pick up the 2 plates worth of gold. And
They're fight mid. Ult's dropped.
And a flash forward, and the phase rush off of Zixu secures him the kill. Oh no, Mandisford flashed away.
Yep.
Zixu didn't have ult. That's just phase rush Victor being fast. And in the bot lane, they go for the dive, and the Ezreal manages to pick up one, but Lee Sin trying to tank on the backside can't do quite enough, and Ezreal almost falls to the Jinx rocket, but a great body block by Rio of the Wildfire to deny that from connecting.
Definitely. Action all around. And the Malphite, as we saw earlier, when he did that flash ultimate, there's really no surviving that one. He is, in fact, going for what looks to be the AP build.
As Set tries to ult Volibear out of his shield, but it's not quite fast enough. Volibear has to flash away to prevent the face breaker from breaking his face. Still takes a significant amount of damage, but both of them sticking around the lane with about a quarter health, and it looks like they might reset as the dragon's coming up. But
crucially, ATX Gamer has teleport while the Set does not as of right now.
But the Set healing is just so much. Oh, he blows the face breaker early, and that might be enough. The ultimate from Volibear, as well as the shield, come down, and that burst from Volibear is just absolutely disgusting, giving him the kill because the Set uses his shield and his damage a little too early to try to poke him out.
Yeah, the second he used the W, ATX Gamer knew he could kill him and just went right in.
On the bot side, Uyapolina and Rio the Wildfire trying to pull a sneaky dragon out of their pocket, but there's a pink ward in there, and so they get caught out.
Big stun.
With the ult, big stun out of Mandisford, and with the ultimate out of the Malphite, they pick up 1 kill. Jinx gets excited, they pick up a 2nd kill. Victor's there, but he's on the backside of the pit. He gets corpsed down and slowed. He's about to try to pick it up. He lands the stun set or the shield setup, but it's not enough. He gets stunned. Soraka comes over to keep Mandisberg alive, get a little bit of healing off. Zixu's now down at a quarter health. The Soraka healing battery is just keeping the rest of their team alive. Zixu's trying to get close, but they can't walk up. Between the silence puddle and the damage from Mandisberg, they're sticking around to try to get this steal. But Mandisberg's back at full health from the Soraka. The Q from Lee Sin lands, but they can't take it. They just have to back up. And that's a great dragon secure from Archangel and Kamikaze Penguins.
Yeah, very nice job by Mandisberg to just know that there's no real way they can test him and be smart enough to be on the other side of the wall, knowing he's not really in danger and just not even giving the Lee Sin a chance to try to steal. And you saw that fight. Malphite had completed his Sword Shoe, had completed the Runic Echoes, and you could see the damage that's already coming out just from a Malphite ultimate alone.
And they stick around to try to push this bot wave, get some good chunk down, but they can't quite take the turret because the rest of the team gets back from their death timers fast enough. As ATX Gamer walks down and drops a ward on the Rift Herald to prevent Uyapolina from trying to pull another sneaky one out.
Yeah, right now it's going to be interesting. It looks like Victor's going to be going for his Lichbane second, which I think is a smart buy. He's pretty strong, and that's definitely just indexing into straight damage. Jinx is feeling pretty comfortable at a 2-0-1. Really, all around the board, everyone's builds are starting to come online at around the same time.
And here's all of that vision from ATX Gamer coming down to spot out Uyapolina as he tries to make something happen in the top lane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the vision this whole series has been really good about just keeping tracks on the Lee Sin.
Soraka pinging out the bot lane, indicating that they might want to go for something down there as the Cokester walks forward and breaks the Guardian.
Victor moving up into the river, maybe just to get vision, although he might be able to sneak up onto the Volibear.
Looks like they might be trying to set their sights towards top lane, but all of ATX Gamer's vision gives him a heads up. Set pops the board to try to slow him down, but the ultimate to jump away gets ATX Gamer to the safety of his own turret.
Yeah, great use of the ultimate. He goes on
with
top.
The counter roam coming by Mandisberg, with all of the vision in their control, they're able to get up here sneaky, runs forward, lands the Q stun. Look at that damage! The Malphite ultimate plus Mandisberg scattered the weak, blow set up.
Yeah, Hyaris didn't even have a chance to use his W there. Great counter roam, which should turn into a Rift Herald as Lee Sin's on the bot side.
And Zixu's around here to try to make something happen, but he can't win that, and Mandisberg finds him. Oh, great stun by Mandisberg, and the ult and the Syndra damage just deletes the Victor.
Yeah, right. I mean, that shows just the Syndra pick in this series is just so
but Lee Sin
strong.
going for another dive in the bot lane. They're setting it up. The Taric ulti's out. He walks up. They manage to proc it onto the Lee Sin. They go for the kick stun combo, but it doesn't quite connect as Ezreal tries to dive under the turret. But Ezreal falls to the turret. The turret's still up. Lee Sin manages to pick up the Soraka. Lee Sin and Taric are walking forward, but the Cokester flashes out and is going to pick up the Lee Sin, maybe.
Meanwhile, Rift Herald did.
Oh, with the ulti in the last second, gets excited, manages to run away from the rear of the wildfire. Now turn around, chasing the Taric, dodges the stun. Looks like the Coaster's going to pick this up. Excellent play by the Jinx to deny the dive and go 2 for 1. All of the kills going over the dive. And Archangel's now here. Archangel's going to pick up the kill on the Taric.
Yeah, while all that was happening, they got 3 turrets on the other half of the map. While all that was happening, I don't know exactly what happened, but it looked like Ezreal almost completely died to the turret alone. Like, I think it's maybe just a little bit of a bundle on like who was supposed to start the aggro, but yeah, that was definitely not exactly what you wanted to happen when Rift Herald was being spawned in your mid lane.
Definite miscommunication on that dive. Once the Victor fell, I think that they felt like they had to try to make a play, but with the Rift Herald and your mid laner dead, I think that you have to back up and call that one off. And then when they do execute the dive, they get the Taric ulti off on 3, but they can't blow up the Soraka, and then they have mixed message whether they're going in or not, and Cheryl's is stuck under the turret while Tarek and Lee Sin chase the Soraka, so they manage to get the Soraka, but the Jinx kills the Ezreal with the help of the turret and turns around and kills the rest of them. And by the time that they're getting out, the Malphite's there to pick up the last kill.
Yeah, and at this point of the game, Kamikaze Penguins has secured themselves a pretty nice lead. Not all hope is lost. You still have the scale. The Victor's still strong. You still have the scaling. We know the set, and there's a lot of gold to be picked up on the map in the way of turrets. With a 4-0 turret lead, just getting 1 or 2 will help bring the gold lead back a little bit. But they're coming bot.
And the Malphite's just massive. Heal from the Ezreal to try to run away. Silky steps to dodge a lot, but Mandisford's just huge, and the Scout of the Week drops and Coaxer flashes to try to get away, but Zixu's there. The TP comes in from Hyaris, and he's here to grab some damage. The Volibear ult in, doesn't hit most. Mandisford's running away, but the Scout of the Week plus the Q is huge and chunks Hyaris to half, Zixu to half. They're going to run him down. Just enough damage to blow up the Victor before he falls. Mandisford, though, finally drops to Polina. The Terragol comes out. They're cornered in the alcove. They're trying to do anything they can to do some damage to get away. But the Volibear's huge. The Malphite's huge. The Soraka's healing everybody. And that's going to be a 4 for 1, 4 for 2. That fight was so long that the death timers are already respawning. But that's going to be a dragon over to the side of Kamikaze Penguins.
Yeah, Mansterberg was massive that fight. It looked so good. Polina had a great flash kick to immediately kill the Coaxter. I mean, the 303 Jinx is automatically dead, but Mansterberg just kind of danced around, got a nice scatter of the week, picked up the Victor right before he died. Really, really well played fight by him, and credit to ATX Gamer for just coming in and just, the Volibear's just massive.
And disruptive, yeah, I completely agree. And that was really, the Mandisford managing to pick up that kill on Zixu right before dropping. If the Victor stays alive in that fight instead of the Syndra, that fight goes 100% differently.
Definitely, and credit to Archangel for getting a great, basically just instant kill the Ezreal when he ulted in. Didn't even have to use the Syndra ult on him, which allowed it to be used for Volibear, or not Volibear, Victor. But they're hunting Lee Sin now.
The Q lands. They've got Set and Lee Sin. I'd like to see him just turn around and go here. They're waiting for the rest of their team to get there. The Victor's chunking out Skelly Bob on the backside. But a great Scout of the Week by Mandisford lands. Ultimate lands. Zixu's down at half health. Ultimate's out. But the Set goes on to ATX Gamer. The Volibear ultimate comes out for more health, but he falls. Archangel manages to pick up 2 kills. Coaxter picks up another one. They lose ATX Gamer, but they take down 3. Polina and Hyaris are the only ones left alive. Kamikaze Penguins, 4 people up. Scuttle Crab down. They're turning onto the Baron. They know that Hyaris and Polina had the back. This is free. They just went 3 for 1. They're going to get the Baron. They're 5,000 gold up. Things are not looking good for Mundolicious.
Yeah, that fight looked good again at the start. They almost just killed the Syndra right out, but I think she actually ended up getting Lee Sin kicked over the wall to safety, which put her in range of the Soraka heals, and once she was in range of the Soraka, there's no killing her. It's just, these fights are very, very close, but interesting enough to me, the Malphite went for the Void Staff second with a little bit of MR being on the enemy team, but he's basically dealing true damage right now with all the magic pin he has.
And I think that on the Malphite, that's kind of his goal. That's his plan. He wants to just make people disappear. He's not worried about the volume of damage. He just wants it all to hit because the scaling on that ultimate is already absurd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going for the Zonya's third, which is smart. So that way, when he does ult in, he has a chance to get out alive. But with the Baron, I think they're just going to start looking to siege. And if these Scatter of the Weeks keep landing, or you can't even defend if Malphite has ultimate, he'll just dive you under the turret. It's looking rough.
It's a really, really dangerous team comp that I really, when I saw this team comp originally, didn't think was as dangerous as it is, but the Scattered the Weak into the Malphite ultimate, into the Volibear ultimate, into the Jinx ultimate, if you get hit by a Scattered the Weak, you're dead. There's so much damage that stun will be the end of your life.
Yeah, and I actually, to point out, I like Mansenberg's choice to go for the Leandri's Torment. You know, most mid laners kind of default by the Merlinomicon second, but he recognized that maybe he didn't really need that this game and went for the Leandries instead.
Well, Set and Lee Sin are really the only ones with any sort of healing on this enemy team right now. So I think that it's definitely a good pick, especially when you think about how much CC comes out of your team.
Definitely.
In the top lane, we've got ATX Gamer trying to pick a fight with Hyaris, but at this point, ATX Gamer is done with the Set's nonsense, and that is a very, very dead Set.
Yeah, the Volibear at this point is just unstoppable, it feels like.
Big turnaround in this mirror match. ATX Gamer went, you might have had the better of me in the first game. I won it, but I might have lost this lane. I'm not doing that again on this champion.
Oh, a nice kick. They will catch him out.
They do manage to get that pick, but on the other side, the Malphite goes under turret and they blow up the Taric and the Ezreal before the Taric ultimate ever even has time to finish.
Yeah, if Malphite uses his flash and his ultimate, there's no surviving, and this should probably just be the end of the game.
I don't see how it's not unless there's a hero play that comes out of somebody here. Oh, Set's back up. They don't have a tank. They might just back this one up. They might decide that it's not worth the risk right now.
Good chunk. But yeah, they might just end up calling it safe.
Coaster's walking forward. That turret's about to fall. Do they take the one turret before they back up? Yeah, so they knock one down. Dragon's coming up. little bit of Lee shenanigans there.
Yeah.
But a little bit of damage from Mandisford goes a long way, chunking out the Ezreal to half health on one thing. They fire off the Ezreal ult to try to clear the wave as much as possible in hopes of them being able to get over to this dragon, I think, in time to contest it. But
oh, they're death pushing.
This one's a goner. Mandisford and Archangel looking to stack those ultimates like
Victor
we talked
might walk
about
right
before.
into him. Nope.
No, just going to... Oh. As they sneak the dragon in the back. There it is! And the scattered the weak into the Malphite ult, into the Syndra ult. And there's just... You'd have to be a full build Mundo to survive that, I think.
Yeah, definitely. That's tough. You know, they don't have the vision, so you can't really contest, but it just feels so bad when you're just constantly like hemorrhaging gold, hemorrhaging objectives. So I get why he probably felt he was safe to walk there, especially when you know they're probably on Dragon, but smart by Kamikaze Penguins to recognize that they don't need everyone on the Dragon.
Yeah, they've got a fed Jinx. She can solo dragons if she has to. They're up 8,000 gold.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't see a way back into this game.
And with so much one-shot potential, like the Taric ultimate's nice, but when they have this much one-shot, you die before you can channel it. You almost have to guess when to use it.
And I think that's a really good point. At this point, they have to almost use the Taric ulti offensively to go in. And that's just not going to work against the Syndra and the Malphite, who, as soon as you cast it, they blow you up. Or they wait until it casts, and then as soon as it falls off, they can just turn around and re-engage at the press of a Malphite arm.
Yeah, but they're just slowly... Well, I like how they have the Volibear in the other lane, threatening both lanes at the same time.
Set walking up to help the Ezreal. They might try to make a play onto the volley here, but he's too big. He's too
Malphite ult.
They're not going to kill him. The Malphite ult goes down. Syndra kills the Victor again. The Taric ulti comes out. It's going to connect, but it doesn't do much at this point. They do manage to drop the Volibear in the top lane, but they lose the turret. Set's running in. He's trying to kill the Jinx. He uses the Facebreaker. It's just not going to be enough. They kick out the Coaster, but they're focusing the turret. They see the win. That's going to be advantage to Kamikaze Penguins. They win. They advance. Wonderful match, Mundolicious. Wonderful match, Kamikaze Penguins. Kamikaze Penguins advance to the semifinals.
Yeah, good luck to Kamikaze Penguins in the semifinals. I'm excited to see how they do. I'm excited to see what their next opponent's answer to them will be, because they looked really, really dominant today. And credit to Mundolicious for making it a pretty good, like a good series. They had a bunch of good moments. I'm looking forward to them to bounce back next season. And especially, I'd give a lot of credit to Zixu. I thought he had a really good series on the Syndra and on the Victor.
I think Zixu looked fantastic. I think that on the flip side, Mandisford looked amazing. The Cokester, probably, I don't know. I think I have to give Mandisberg my MVP this time around. But the Cokster's a close runner-up again with another dominant play on a scaling ADC, just staying back and doing exactly what's needed from his team.
Yeah, but you can't ignore Archangel, excuse me. 9-1-7 on the Malphite. Mandisberg had an amazing game, lots of great moments, but I mean, Archangel only died one time. I felt like in every ultimate at the end of the game meant a kill onto someone, so credit to him as well. Really well played on the whole team.
You're right, that's a bit of an oversight. Takes the weird jungle pick with the Malphite, and highest kills in the game, highest kill participation in the game, lowest deaths in the game. I guess I was overlooking something there, but I felt like Mandisberg set up almost all of those kills with that Scatter the Weak that you got to give a little bit of love.
I'm giving love to everybody. They all played really well. Yeah, and you look, Mandisberg and ATX Gamer both did help protect Archangel on that early Scuttle Crab play, which helped him out. But I mean, it's hard to pick an MVP. I mean, even Skelly Bob on the Soraka had a great game, keeping people alive, and it's hard to pick an MVP when it feels like everyone played so well. Really credit to the whole team.
Agreed. And going forward, looking at Kamikaze Penguins, I don't know what you try to ban from them, because you banned the Shyvana, and arguably Archangel had an even better game on Malphite than he had on Shyvana. You ban away all of Mandisberg's champions, and he takes your champions from you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you try to ignore the top lane because it's top lane, and there aren't too many matchups that are impossible to play up there, but I can't imagine that you give ATX Gamer Volibear moving forward.
That's what I was about to say. I think you have to deny the Volibear. He just felt unstoppable in so many of those fights. Really, really, really well played by him as well. I mean, that's what I was about to say. If you're Kamikaze Penguins' next opponent, it's going to be difficult to prep for them. They're a hard team to draft against, and there's no really clear weak point or place of attack. I think every lane holds their own. You saw last game, Cokester had a huge pop off. You saw both games, Mandisberg played well, the jungle played well. I mean, everyone just played well both games. It'd be hard to know where to attack.
And I think that's a really good point. Is in the first game when it looked like Zixu was almost going to be able to 1v9 the game, the rest of Kamikaze Penguins, they said, all right, Mandisberg, you're on a late champion. You're here to provide utility. You're here to scale. We got you. And the whole team managed to prop him up until he came online, and then they just ran him over. So with that level of kind of coordination across the map and the ability for every lane to hold their own, I don't know how you draft against these guys going forward. That said, Mundolicious put up a fantastic couple of fights against them, and kudos to them for a season well played.
Yeah, really great job to them, and look forward to seeing them in the next round of the playoffs.
And that's going to do it from us tonight. Join us again tomorrow at noon Eastern. Well, join me again tomorrow at noon Eastern as I bring you your seal in the morning for breakfast or lunch, depending on which coast you're on. I am Cage the Caged Reaper here with Brewer for the Seal broadcast. Thank you all for showing up.
Have a good night.